Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Jedi Knights Watch. My name is Graham, and today we are back with doing unboxing and reviews. This is going to be a flashback review of R2D2 from Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, if you guys know me and you've been around the channel for a little bit, you know that I'm not a big fan of the sequels. Pretty much stick to the OT and then a little bit of the Mandalorian, Boba Fett, stuff like that. Obi-Wan Kenobi, that kind of line. But this is, to me, an original trilogy figure. It's just, rebranded, obviously, as The Force Awakens, but it is R2D2, and I found this at my local comic book store in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, called Freak Toys. They got a huge haul of 75 Star Wars Hot Toys and Sideshow figures for trade-in the other day, and I was blown away. It's a crazy amount, 75 guys. So I went there and I was able to pick up this as well as the Sand Trooper, and as soon as I get a little bit more money, I'm probably going to head back and get a couple more figures while they still have them. But let's start by taking a look at the box. It's the typical Star Wars box here. Nice image of R2. I love this art print on the inside. We got BB-8 there right to the side. Really sharp picture, really clear with great color. Like that a lot. And on the inside, kind of surprised to see how little we get. It's really just going to be R2D2 himself with some batteries and a remote control. But the figure looks good. I got a really good deal on this, so I couldn't pass it up. I had the Sideshow version, which is a good stand-in, but if you can get the Hot Toys version, I think you're going to be really pleased with it. And we're going to compare the two here later in the video. But let's get the figure out and just kind of look at everything that he comes with. Again, we have the batteries. You can put these in, and then we have the remote here. You can see it says Star Wars, and the W is going to be the actual button to press to make sounds come out of R2, and it does have an on and off switch as well. I'm not going to put the batteries in just because I don't ever mess with the batteries. I don't like putting them in. They don't last long. I don't want any corrosion, so nothing like that. But when we pop the top off, all you do is pull. This is where you would insert the batteries. Right in here, there's just an on-off switch, and then there is the screw that you can undo and put the batteries in. And then there's like this tap button on the side. It's not really a button, you just tap it, and it's kind of like a phone where it reads your finger. And you can get him to turn on, and you'll see him light up. And I'm sure he looks good, but he's never going to be in that position for me. He's just going to be on the display. So here we have a closer look, and again, this is going to be, it's going to be a little heavy. The dome is going to be die cast. You can see like this pitting and like almost like rust effect going on. I really like that a lot. Very solid, like, this piece moves here. It articulates, if you will, but it's a lot tighter than the Sideshow. The Sideshow, all these flaps open here, and this one, it looks like they're all just sealed shut. But it's a clean version, but at the same time, there's a good amount of weathering, and I really like that. Then you can push this third foot in, and then it just kind of pulls down. You kind of got to give it a little bit of extra pull. It kind of was a little sticky, so you can pose them just like that. And then the arms, or the legs, I guess, they do kind of ratchet, or they got these points where they kind of stick, so it's really good, really tight. And then the feet obviously have a little bit of bend too. The wires look really nice. You got this really good weathering on the edges here. Just makes him look like he's been out and about in the galaxy, and that he's seen a lot of stuff, so but yeah, really good look to him. There are more weathered versions out there, but I think this one looks really good. And let's just compare him right now with the Sideshow version that I did have for a long time, and they both look good. And Sideshow looks really good when you have it by itself, but when you compare the two together, you can just really see the color and the saturation on the Hot Toys version. And I thought this would be more clean than the Sideshow one, but really it looks a lot more weathered, and there's more detail in like the nooks and crannies and the crevices and everything. And the Sideshow one is just so much looser. You can see him having a hard time getting him to just stand on those 2 feet. And this is, something that Sideshow figures all deal with, is like loose bodies and a little bit cheaper of a quality, and that's why you're going to find it for cheaper. But we like move them around and his flaps kind of all open up, so that was kind of always an annoyance for me. But at the same time, I don't do much with R2D2. He just kind of sits on the shelf, so it wasn't a big deal. I do think for anybody that has the Sideshow version, and if you're satisfied with that, that's perfectly fine. But even the dome is just a lot tighter on the R2 version. I'm sorry, on the Hot Toys version, and it's going to have more weight to it too. And part of that is probably going to be the die cast dome on top. But man, you just see the color difference. I didn't notice it until you put them together, just almost how desaturated the Sideshow version is. But definitely feels a lot cheaper, the Sideshow version. But when we pull the leg down here too, and we can get them to kind of just stand like this, and we'll just get the other R2 here. And so again, just push this button in, and then you kind of got to pull that third leg out. And it, again, this is kind of, mine is sticky. I don't know if all of them are like that, but just had to go off camera here for a quick second just to kind of figure that out and put him back on. So here we have him kind of in this like pose or position, and I gotta say I'm really happy with this, especially for the price. Now, if I was paying full retail of like, not retail, but like what these R2s are going for right now, like in like $300, $325, $350, I think I would just settle with my Sideshow R2D2, to be honest, because I like R2, but I don't think there's that big of a difference. And I got this R2 here, the Hot Toys version, for under $200. So we just saw him with Yoda, so you can see the size comparison. And then we do have him with Snowspeeder Luke, and they look great together. So that's always going to be a good pairing if you choose to do that. But let's just get him on the turntable so you can get a better look at him. We're not going to do too many poses. We'll put him with C-3PO yet. But talking about some of the things that I like about the figure and some things that I don't. Starting with the things that I really like is obviously just going to be the quality, especially compared to Sideshow. I think it's going to be, the joints are a lot stiffer, just feels heavier in hand, feels a lot better. The second thing I like is that the dome is die cast and you got that pitting going on and almost like the rust effects. Looks really, really cool. And then the third thing I like is obviously the saturation of colors. It looks really good. It's bright. It stands out on the shelf a lot more than the Sideshow version did. Going to some things that I didn't like as much. The third foot kind of sticks a little bit. It's a little hard to get it to pull out of the bottom of the droid. Outside of that, the only other thing I can think of is he doesn't really come with anything. You know, it would have been okay or cool if he came with a stand, just because then he matches all of the other figures. Like, he doesn't need a stand, but if he came with something, it just goes better with all of your other figures that, you know, come with a stand. So here you can see he's with C-3PO, and they look great together. I do have the Hot Toys C-3PO on pre-order, so once we, you know, get that one in, we'll probably sell this Sideshow version here. But even still, they look really, really good together. So again, really happy to get this. If you guys, you know, are in the Wisconsin area, or even if you're not, check out Freak Toys. And they have a website. They also have a eBay store, and it's Freak Toys with TOYZ. I can put a link in the description below for you if you'd like. Let me know what you think about this figure. Let me know what you think about the video. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and be a part of the watch. And until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.